wanted to talk about why most beginners fail, and this is just from experience from having worked with over 400 people now instead of our paid programs, but at the same time, probably thousands if you include the people who haven't paid me a dime, which is totally cool, by the way. As long as I'm adding value to you, I believe in the law of reciprocity. So whether you buy my stuff or not, I don't care. But I want to talk about why, somebody doesn't get results, why somebody who might desire results in their life or their business tends not to get them. And it's a very loaded question. I could spend a lot of time picking it apart, but I get this a lot. I get a lot of students or a lot of, say, beginners, people who are just now starting their business and it just doesn't work for them. And I want to kind of help you understand, just a few simple things that a lot of beginners don't understand or tend not to understand that will really help you. So let's get into it. So with an online service-based business, particularly a coaching business, which is what I help people start, I've found that the reason why people don't succeed is a myriad of things, but it's one primary thing, which tends to be that they're so focused on getting their revenue mark to a certain level or getting their first sale that they're not even thinking about the customer's needs. And this causes almost like an issue in the marketplace of obviously there's going to be other people that have been more customer focused, that are more desiring to serve other people and solve their problems, that naturally, they're going to get the business, even if it costs more for your prospect to work with the other person than you, because you're just focused on getting your feet off the ground. And so there's this kind of posture that you have to have when you're running a business, and maybe it's a catch-22 because maybe you have to evolve to a certain point where you make enough money that you can then choose to think that way. But I don't know, I think you legitimately have to decide to want to help people and serve them and really solve core problems for them. And make business not just about you. There's you and then there's the prospect, right? So obviously you're one half of the equation. But I think mentally, most beginners make it all about themselves. They make it all about making their first sale, or all about getting to a certain revenue mark, and they don't at least use serving somebody else well and solving a problem for them as a bridge to help them get to their revenue goals, right? They don't even think that way. It's just going out and making a sale and just kind of pushing to make that sale or make that first sale or whatever. And I've just found that look, this is not really the best posture to have, in my opinion. I do think we need to be selfish to some extent, but we need to be selfless in order to be selfish, right? You will get so much more back in life if you are willing to first serve others and give them what they want. Then getting what you want comes very naturally. Another thing that I see a lot of beginners do is they compare themselves to the greats. They compare themselves to people who have given this business everything. And this was me at the beginning. I used to look at people who were doing $1 million a year already and be like, oh man, I was just so filled with envy and I had so much pride and I felt like I deserved their results for some reason, even though I hadn't put in the work. And instead of being willing to humble myself and learn from those people, I separated myself so far from them and I created so much envy and there was so much pride and there was so much frustration that I wasn't where they were yet, and I was watching them succeed so publicly and all these things, and it was just it just felt like it was beating me down and down and down and further down. And I don't know, maybe you can resonate with that feeling, but that was definitely something that I experienced. And I had to work through that. I had to decide that I just had to come to terms with where I was right here, right now. And I found a lot of people, it's almost like they live in this fantasy. They haven't actually come to terms with where they are today, right now. They haven't looked in the mirror in so long. And this is something that I used to struggle with and sometimes still today struggle with. Even having built, multiple $1 million business where I am today, there's people that are ahead of me and it's still so easy to compare and feel behind and everything. And I gotta tell you, man, your energy is something you have to protect like it's your life's mission. And if your energy is being sucked up by feelings of envy and frustration, then to be honest, it's so hard to do productive work that you've already lost the game. You have to learn to just compare yourself to yourself, come to terms with where you are today, right now, and begin working on where you are right now, today. Just be very present. The other thing that I've found a lot of beginners, struggle with is honestly just consistency. I'd say half of learning how to be successful now, having built this business and built financial freedom for myself, and I don't know if I have to say it or not, but I drive a $120,000 car. My business does $100,000 to $300,000 a month. I wear $50,000 watches. I've got all these cool things in my life, but to be honest, like, I wouldn't have any of them if I didn't just learn to just stay consistent no matter how I felt. It's very easy to make being productive all about waiting for motivation or waiting for the right time, or, trying to have the perfect morning routine or the perfect evening routine so that you feel good enough the next day, or, there of course are environmental things that can really help you, and I don't want to discredit those things. Like, for me, going to the gym is very important, being hydrated is very important, being well rested is very important, getting good sleep. All these things are super, super helpful. But to be honest, just being consistent no matter your environment is just like this secret weapon that I've found that the really successful people in my network have had to develop, and that I've had to develop in order to get to where I am today. It's like, no matter what's happening, I'm going to stay the course. And I'm going to be patient about it. I'm not going to judge my results in a given project until at least 3 months of consistency in. And when I say consistency, I mean like 8 to 10 hour days every single day, going hard and letting go of the results for a second, just building that momentum. And most beginners, they're like lying to themselves. It's like they say, yes, I was consistent, but then like when I pull up, the tracking sheet, which we use for our students, for example, I'm like, all right, did you actually do it? It's like, well, no, they actually didn't. And they honestly, it's crazy, is they honestly think that they did do it. But then when they look at the sheet, when they look at the tracker, they didn't do it. So it's just interesting how that works to me. People say that they did it, but then it's like they've been lying to themselves. They actually didn't. If they sat down and tracked it every single day for 90 days, did you do the thing? Whatever it is, whether it's like, putting out a piece of content like on YouTube or whatever, Reels or something, or it's, sending 20 messages or whatever it is, it's like they don't do it. It's that simple. They can't commit to that level of consistency. And often they can't commit to that level of consistency because they have other things in their life that create a bigger short-term reward that they haven't let go of, like video games, or like, dare I say, like pornography or drugs or alcohol, or like even like some friendships or relationships they shouldn't be in. Those things, they create a better short-term high for them that they then use. They don't use that energy to pour into the business with. And it might not even be things like as bad as alcohol. I take it to a bit of an extreme. It could just be honestly like you like watching TV, or you like reading, or, the gym might be like an escape for you. You have to be willing to take some of these things and prioritize them and put them in their place and use them as reward systems so that you then can go and do the work. And the other reason why I see beginners not failing is they just don't know what they don't know. They don't know what to do next. They're stuck. They're in this like cycle of like not knowing what to do, which causes them to do very poor quality work, which then causes them to get poor results, get even more frustrated, and then not know what to do even worse. And look, this is why I run the YouTube channel that I run. This is why I run the business that I run, is to help people like yourself get off the ground and succeed. It's my personal mission to see at least 100 people build $1 million a year online business by the time that I'm 30. It's just a goal that I have. And I don't think that we're going to do it by, letting our short-term desires get in the way of longer-term, bigger goals. And I also don't think that we're going to do it by staying in that loop of not knowing what to do, doing poor work and everything, and just letting that control our life. So look, if you're serious about fixing these things and actually getting off the ground, if you're a beginner and you just want that success and you're willing to go all in, you're willing to commit to a mentor, you're willing to commit to a process that's been proven across over 400 students with 30 million in earnings, you've got two options. One is free and one is paid. The first option is you can watch our free training. It's about 45 minutes long. The link's in the description, and no, I'm not selling some BS $997 course at the end. I'm just going to break down the high level of exactly how our students have gotten their coaching businesses off the ground in the first 90 days and exactly what they did so that you can replicate the results. And the other option is, look, if you enjoy my YouTube channel at all and you found value in watching my videos, seeing my journey as I've gone from like a broke 18-year-old kid to where I am today, helping tons of other people do the exact same thing, then I urge you to take 45 minutes out of your week this next 7 days and speak with us. It's so funny to me that people just aren't willing to go that little extra mile sometimes. And the people that are willing to go that extra mile, the people that are willing to take a leap and see what's on the other side and kind of poke at something and see what it has to offer, those are the people that get the most out of great resources like my channel and like our programs. And so what I want you to do is use the link in the description to book a direct consult with myself or my team, and we're going to help you get your business off the ground even if you're a beginner. You can see students of ours like Sam and Miranda here, who are a husband and wife team who didn't make a single sale, and they were stuck and they were frustrated and confused. They joined our program, the Consulting Blueprint, and they closed a $15,000 deal. Now, don't get me wrong, it took them some time, it took some consistency in putting in the work, but now they see lots of more deals coming over their horizon, just like this one. It's because they got the right help at the right time. And look, whether you decide to get started with me and book a call and speak to my team and everything and see if you're a good fit, which by the way, just by booking a call, that doesn't mean you have to commit a massive financial commitment. It could just mean you have some questions, you don't know what you don't know right now, and even if you don't get started with us, even if you don't buy anything, it's still going to be a really valuable 45 to 60 minutes of your time. Probably the most valuable time you're going to spend on your business this year. But like I said, even if you don't decide to do anything with any of our programs, I hope that you can take something away from this video. And it's that most beginners just don't stay consistent. Most beginners just don't know what they don't know. And to be frank, most beginners, I'm just going to speak it straight, make a lot of excuses. And that's a tough one. You know, when I say that it's probably your fault, it's almost like I'm dropping a bomb on you that is hard to accept. But, you know, I've found for my life, and I can only speak for myself, that when I take full responsibility for everything in my world, and I take full responsibility for the results that I've gotten, only then do I begin to see, you know, what I need to do to get to that next level. So like odds are, if you are where you are right now, it's because you are taking action in a certain way that needs to improve, because that action has led to your current results and the action is just not good enough, so it needs to improve. You have a certain amount of knowledge in your head that needs to improve, because that knowledge has led to the actions that you have right now, and that's not working for you. And you have some beliefs that you need to work on, which is what I mean when I say excuses. You know, an excuse is just a belief. It's often like I am this way because X, or I can't do this because Y. You know, you really want to look at what comes after that word because it's like one of the most powerful words in the human language. We say because with such matter-of-factness. You know, it's like, I can't grow my business because insert reason here. And a lot of the time, if you look at the end of that because bridge, on the other side, there's just not a lot of substance to it, and there's not a really valid because if you can sit down and really think about what you're saying. But as humans, we use those becauses so much. We say, I can't send 20 messages a day because, boom, right here, insert something. Or I can't post videos online because, insert reason right here. Or I can't learn how to sell because, insert reason right here. And these reasons stack and stack and stack into this massive wall that we're not even aware we're using against that we're using against ourselves. So I hope this has been a valuable video today. And look, I know I dropped a really strong plug for what we do, but that's because we're so freaking good at getting a beginner off the ground that, look, I believe that if you love what you do and you believe in it enough, that it is your job to give somebody the bait to take, to allow them to have the change that you can enact in their life. Like, if you believe in what you do, then you have to make the offers in order for people to work with you. We've got 418 students with 30 million plus in earnings, which if you do the math is average $71,000 per student. So we're really, really good at helping people get this business off the ground. So schedule your call using the link in the description or watch our free training. Either way, I hope you get a lot of value out of the free stuff, because at the end of the day, even if you don't buy anything from me, I want to be one of your favorite channels that you visit often for more guidance on how to grow your business, even if you don't spend any money with me. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.